Hey guys, what's up? This past weekend was my sister was competing in some competition, right? And like we all went to support her and stuff, and it was really cool. And I was really just thinking, like there wasn't necessarily, well, there are a few things that are pressing on my heart, but I just feel like it's not really time to talk about that yet. And like the more I thought about it, the more this weekend just kind of kept popping up and popping up and popping up. And I've seen a lot of people have started posting like just around fellowship with believers and, how people have been hurt and all that stuff. And I think a big theme that's really just come out of this weekend for me has just been this whole notion of like, if you're a Jesus follower and you're trying to walk that road alone, then it is like, I legit feel like I'm sad for you. Because as much as people let us down, I think there's so much color that is added to our walk in our pursuit of following Christ when we take that walk with people. And I think even maybe the past 2 weeks or so, as I've just been listening to sermons and teachings and stuff, it's I'm just getting just this sense or this notion of all of us need support in some way or another, and regardless of what area of your life you may find yourself needing that support, regardless of what season of life you may find yourself, we all need support in some area or another. And there's such a joy, guys, to walking this road with people. Like, as much as they have the potential to hurt you, as much as some people do actually hurt you, there's such a joy to walking the Christian road with people. And I wanna encourage you, if you're not part like of a life group, or if maybe your church doesn't have life groups, maybe you attend fellowship, or maybe you're not somebody that necessarily goes to church every Sunday, but I really do want to encourage you. Won't you find people and like to hold church with? You know what I mean? To have church with. I think the notion of church is changing just generally across the board, which is so great. But I think it's so important that we have people that, we get together and intentionally, like we talk about Christ and we challenge each other and we ask questions that are sometimes uncomfortable. And we get asked questions that are uncomfortable. It's so important. I remember like years ago, Pastor Dwayne White, this one pastor from the States, he came and he did a series during our missions month, and what he was saying is, if for a person to constantly be in an environment of growth, they need to have 3 elements. And I actually think I've shared this before, but it's fine, I'll talk about it again. The first one is there needs to be somebody in front of you, that you are following. So somebody that's pulling you forward. There needs to be somebody beside you that you are walking alongside. And there needs to be somebody behind you who you are then, pulling forward. And he says, if we have those 3 elements, then we will constantly find ourselves in an area in ground where there's potential to grow. And, I took that so to heart it's like specifically in my spiritual walk that, I want somebody that's in front of me, that's constantly, that's challenging me, somebody that makes me, I almost want to, it's bad, but I almost want to say, that makes me feel inadequate, so that I feel like, okay, let me push so that I can, I want to get there. I have the people that I walk alongside, the people where, and I think those are the people that we maybe engage with more on the day-to-day of our lives, where, we're walking together and we're working the journey together, and they have the freedom to ask me about anything in my life. My commitment is then to say, okay, well, I'll answer as honestly as I possibly can, because I want, I want that transparency, and in that transparency, in that vulnerability, they're able to speak into my life, and, and I'm able to go from that. And then, the people behind me, where I'm saying, okay, well, not necessarily that I think they're further along the road in following Jesus, but just people that I know that I can encourage, people that I know that I can uplift, and intentionally see, okay, well, let's make sure that you're constantly growing. Let's make sure that you're constantly getting somewhere. So it was, it was, guys, it was legit, eh? Like I the one moment that I think I'll really remember from this weekend is when they started announcing the scores that they got. So for those of you that don't know how sports aerobics works, you if you get 7.5, you can qualify for Worlds, but you qualify with federation colors, and you need to get 8 or above to qualify as a Protea, like to be a Protea athlete. And when they started reading out their scores, and as soon as I realized that they got Protea colors, I started crying, and like tears, like the ugly cry, because I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot, like, I'm so happy for her. Like, they've done it. And even then, like, it just, just this notion of, finding somebody who's just genuinely interested in your well-being, and genuinely seeing you prosper, and doing whatever they can to make sure that they support that vision, to support that dream that God has given you. Guys, being a Christian it's hard. Hey, it's not even that it can be hard. It is hard. I mean, even before you look at like the persecution side of things, if you want to call it that, even before you look at the persecution side of things, like just if you understand the being a Christian is me taking a decision to say, okay, I'm an imperfect human being. I'm choosing to follow a perfect God, a perfect man. I will constantly fall short of that, constantly. But his blood, his grace is sufficient for me. His mercies are new every morning. And that it calls me so much to sacrifice and to lay down things that my flesh might, isn't comfortable with. And it's so much better to walk that road with people, and I don't, on purpose, like, I don't want to spend time talking about, just the lonely side of things, but I really just want to encourage you, once you find a group of people who you can just do life with, it's such a great support. It's such a great add-on. It adds so much more color to life when you find the right group of people. And I think that's why I get so excited when people tell me, like when they start attending churches and stuff, and it's okay if you come to my church and you don't like it, that church, that's home for me. Like, find home for you, because when you find that, it really does add color to your life. So, no fire from hell or whatever this week, but really just an encouragement to say, won't you take time to appreciate the people that you do walk through life with? And if you don't have those people, won't you take time to find them, because it really is, it blesses my soul, man. It blesses my soul. Yeah. Okay. Have a good week. And, I'll see you guys next week. Okay, bye.